Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about my game plan for this week because there are quite a few campaigns going on which really benefit you to play the game a little bit. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I plan to farm for this week in order to take advantage of all of these extra boosts. But before we jump into the video, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is the pre-announced urgent quest with campaign boost. I mentioned this in yesterday's video, however they didn't update this page yet, so I didn't know what exactly the campaign boost is. But now if we go to the very bottom right here, you can see that the campaign boost is actually HP recovery plus 100%, natural PP recovery plus 100%, but the main big one is additional drops Infernium. Now this is a guaranteed 3 Infernium per urgent quest you run, and you can run any region's urgent quest. As you can see in the B-roll, I was running Dust Soul because I need Dust Soul 4s, and I was still able to obtain 3 Infernium very easily. So you are guaranteed 3 Infernium per run, and it doesn't matter what urgent quest you run. You can just run any of them, and it will always give you 3 Infernium, which is very, very nice. While we're speaking about Infernium, this brings me to the first point, and that is if you don't have 200 Infernium and you don't have your Colclophus weapon yet, Infernium is definitely something you can farm for because you're going to be killing those recon units, and then when an urgent quest pops up, you just run it and you're guaranteed 3 Infernium every time. However, if you want a surefire way to get Infernium, you can just farm Giga Vardy. So when we open up the map over here, you can teleport right here to the Ridge 2 and just go forward to the arena up here. In this arena, there's going to be a recon unit. Once you kill the recon unit, it'll spawn a normal Gigantics. Once you kill the normal Gigantics, you actually get Giga Vardy to spawn, and when you kill Giga Vardy, you are guaranteed Infernium every single time you kill him. So this is a surefire way to get Infernium if you don't like the RNG involved of just farming in the Dracen plant or at Altaria base, because I know some people just don't like RNG, even though the recon units are a lot easier to kill versus a Giga Vardy. Giga Vardy is going to take you 12 to 15 minutes to kill in a group, so it does take a little bit of time, but at the very least you are guaranteed Infernium. However, if the idea of farming Infernium seems very tedious to you, no worries, you can simply wait for the event shop to update because you will be able to purchase Infernium from the updated event shop. So simply just wait a week or two and you'll be able to buy out a ton of Infernium, and hopefully that'll be enough to bring you up to 200 Infernium so that you can get your Fixa Tag 3 Colclophus weapon. Now the next thing I plan to farm for are going to be capsules, mainly Gigas Might 4 as well as Dreadkeeper 4. So since you're killing recon units and you're killing Gigantics in general already, Gigas Stat 4 is going to come naturally. Now, you're not going to get a ton of Gigas Stat 4s, unfortunately, which is why they're still going for a lot of money. If you look at Gigas Might 4, they're going for 330,000. It's a substantial amount of money, so you could just farm these and just sell them on the market whenever you get them, which is, it's a good influx of money. However, the way that I see this is I'm going to be farming for Infernium, and then if I get any of these Gigas Stat 4s, that's a bonus. But on top of this, I will also be farming Dreadkeeper 4. So there are a lot of people that just like to go for the recon units, they ignore all the veterans. I personally like to alternate between veterans as well as recon units. I know it's not as efficient, however it does mix things up, which allows me to farm even longer, because if I'm just going for the same unit over and over and over, I do get burnt out relatively quickly. So by alternating between recon units as well as the veteran units, it does mix things up a little bit, so I don't burn out as quickly as other people. Now when I get bored of exploration zones because I don't want to farm recon units, I don't want to farm veterans anymore, then combat zones is the next place where I'm going to be farming. The main thing I'm going to be farming in combat zones is going to be Ephetus armors with a high Fixa, as well as the Tenebro weapons with a high Fixa as well. And maybe even an Effulgent weapon if I'm able to get a high Fixa on that, that would be nice as well. But my main priority is going to be an Ephetus armor Arga with a high Fixa. Now these are relatively rare, however they do drop in combat zones because I've gotten a couple Ephetus armor Argas from the combat zones. Just understand that the chances of getting a Fixa on it is going to be relatively low, but we do have that boost campaign going on right now, which increases our chances of getting a Fixa, so that's definitely going to help a little bit. Now regarding the event weapon with the high Fixa, if you guys haven't seen my DPS breakdown video, I'll link it in the description below, but the TLDR is you want to look for a Fixa Fatale or a Fixa Termina 4 or above in order to make the event weapon better than your Fixa Attack 3 Coclophis weapon. Now keep in mind that the Coclophis weapon has a much higher attack stat, but the main thing you're going to be taking advantage of is going to be this critical hit rate plus 15% for 30 seconds whenever you do a successful dodge or negate an attack with a weapon action or sidestep. So if you play a Braver, for example, you're actually going to be weapon actioning a lot in order to do a lot of counters, which pretty much guarantees you this extra 15% critical hit rate all the time. And if you stack that with a Fixa Fatale level 4 or above, that's going to give you even more crit rate. And then on top of that, if you do have the Braver add-on still, critical hit rate up, this gives you additional 10% critical hit rate increase, which is definitely going to help, and you're going to be critting a lot more often, which will allow you to ignore floor potency in your augments, simply because whenever you crit, you're always going to hit 120% of your damage, so there is no variance since you're going to be hitting the same amount of damage whenever you crit, which is very nice and can save you quite a lot of money, because building floor potency and potency at the same time is relatively expensive, and those addy capsules are starting to go up in price. So in conclusion, I'm going to be farming 4 things. The first thing is Infernium. I need more Infernium in order to get my Fixa Attack 3 Coclophis weapon. However, if you have that already, then you don't really need Infernium, but you could still farm for it because you can still exchange Infernium for some very useful goodies such as Ultracreta 4s, which are still worth a little bit of money. Second of all, I'm going to be farming for Dreadkeeper 4 capsules because I still need that, and I personally like to use Dreadkeeper 4 in my build. And later down the line, when we do get our plus 60 gear, hopefully we get 6 augment slots, and that way you have even more flexibility in order to push your potency even higher, or if you just want more HP, more tankiness like what I like to do, you'll have a little bit more flexibility there. The third thing I'm going to be farming for is the Gigastat 4 capsules, simply because they're still worth a lot of money, especially the Gigas Might 4 capsules. However, I'm going to be keeping them for myself because I do want to use Gigas Might 4 on my weapons as well as my armors, especially if we do get 6 augment slots later in January. That is definitely going to help me a ton in the potency department because I need more potency. I want to be even stronger. And the last thing I'm going to be farming for is of course the Ephetus Armor Argas, as well as the event weapons, as well as the Effulget weapons with high Fixas, because currently we have that boost campaign which allows us to get a lot more Fixa drops than normal, so I'm going to be taking advantage of that.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!
What can I say except you're welcome for the heals, the boosts, the